Hello and welcome to the Rising Tide market update for the June quarter of 2024. So over the next couple of minutes, I'll walk you through the performance of the global stock market using the Vanguard High Growth Index Fund as its very good proxy, provide some commentary around why the market did what it did, focus on an interesting chart, and wrap up with a stock in focus. So the June quarter performance was flat. You can see here down a couple of basis points, and that comes on the back of a really strong 12-month period, up 14.5%. We can see that 14.5% is well and truly above long-term averages for this index fund and investment. So really common for the stock market to take a pause or take a breather after such a strong rally, and that's exactly what we saw here during the June quarter, where markets effectively moved sideways. Zooming in on the June quarter, so there were some moving pieces. We saw strength in hedged international shares. They were up around 2.5%, offset by weakness in international shares in Australian dollars, Australian shares, and bonds. All those were down a couple of percent. Now, zooming out, during the June quarter, global economies, they remain strong in general, but are showing signs of a slowdown. There are economic indicators to say, hey, interest rates are doing what they should be doing, and we're seeing a slowdown. That's actually led to interest rates being lowered in two regions, in Europe and Canada, as inflation in those regions comes back to, within long-term expectations. Now, this in general provides a really positive backdrop for stock markets, a continued strong-ish global economy, and interest rates moving in the direction that we want them to move in. So a really good backdrop there. Two things we're focusing on or monitoring is as we come out of the June quarter is market breadth. So what I mean by that is the US stock market, the S&P 500, was up 4.3% during the quarter. But the equal weight, so all 500 companies were actually down, were actually down 2.6%. So we're seeing a small group of, these are the big tech companies, propping up and driving the stock market. What we like to see in general is breadth of performance. So all 500 companies moving in the same direction. That generally shows as a very strong economy, a strong, there's breadth in the economy and the strength in the economy, and that's leading to all companies rallying. But that is not what we're seeing this quarter, so we're monitoring that. The second thing is the US election, which is around the corner in November. Typically provides some short-term volatility in the stock market. Now, this chart just shows the amazing run in two of the US tech companies, in Microsoft and Apple. They now have market caps of over $3 trillion US dollars, and these individually are larger than the UK stock market and the entire German stock market in these other two colors here. So an amazing run driven by a number of factors, but largely enthusiasm in the AI space. As we like to do every quarter, connect with the top holdings on your screen here. Hopefully we recognize most of these companies. They are the biggest and strongest companies around the world, and should provide us some confidence when the markets are doing well, and more importantly, when we see some volatility, that these companies are here to stay. Now, one question we're seeing clients ask a lot is, what's this one? What's NVIDIA? It's the one company here that isn't customer or consumer facing. So I'm going to spend the next minute roughly just focusing on NVIDIA and what they do. So it's a US company who manufacture GPUs, general processing units, and they look like this on the right-hand side. These are used in laptops, in phones, in cars, in data centers. NVIDIA are the best and the biggest in the business at the moment making these, and due to growth in data centers, growth in cryptocurrency mining, and certainly growth in AI, the stock has done exceptionally well, driven by really strong sales, but also really strong expectations. It's now one of those big tech companies with a market cap of over 3.2 trillion and sales of roughly $100 billion expected in the next 12 months. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what NVIDIA do, even though you may not know them. So that's it for the quarter update. As always, please reach out to myself or any of the other advisors at Rising Tide if you have any questions or follow-ups on this market update. And so we'll leave it there and speak in 3 months. Thank you. Bye.